Hello, everybody. It's the Wrestling with the Willies podcast. This is the second time we had to film because my internet went out. Like we made it about halfway, and then the internet cut out. So we're trying to do it again. Where we're talking about All Out 2023. And yeah, so there was three matches on this card, which was different from Forbidden Door. Where we didn't get to watch those, but and it's mostly I didn't even know Dennis Rodman was in one of the matches. It seemed kind of weird why they had Dennis Rodman there because I don't think he was involved with any. It looks like he was with the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, but I don't even know the reason why they had him in there. But
because they had to fill the card.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but like with Dennis Rodman though. But Adam Page seemed like the weirdest thing where they're like, I don't know what to do with him, so we're gonna have him win a charity battle royal, where essentially like later on in the night they said where he was giving the charity money to, and then it turned out that it was the Chicago Education Fund. I think they said that it was.
Yeah. Which I made a comment about that, but we're not going to get political on here.
Yeah. No, like, what's it called? I mean, they do like a lot of stuff in Chicago, so I'm not surprised. And then there was Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and Sky Blue versus Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante. Which it seems like they switched Diamante around, like, from face to heel, like, a lot, it seems like. But, anyway, it seems like weird too. And mind you, if you see my vision go to the side, it's because I have my iPad set up. Can't just have it like right below the ring light. So that way I can actually look up the badge cards and whatever else. So if you're wondering why my vision is going off, it's because of that. So it started off with Better Than You, Baby, which is such a good tag team name, versus the Dark Order. And, like, Dark Order seems like they kind of lost momentum once they started getting all their members out of the group. Like, when they got Stu Grayson got let go. I don't even know if they got rid of Preston Vance or not, because I haven't seen him on TV or seen anything.
You're talking about Dark Order? You're talking about Dark Order, right?
Yeah, because the Better Than You Baby match, yeah. So, like, it seems like they didn't now they're recruiting again, it sounds like, with their vignettes and stuff, because now they're a heel tag team again. So, which made sense because of the stuff with Adam Page. Like it seemed like he was fine with the lead again, so then Dark Order took a backseat, so of course they're kind of pissed off about that. So it makes sense why they would be heels again. Hopefully they end up getting some better members in there, like some like worthy guys. Like, I don't know, it couldn't be like Brian Cage or somebody, but like somebody of that caliber. They need to end up having somebody kind of like how Brody Lee was in the group, where he was kind of like the bigger name type of thing in the group. It seems like, instead of just Evil Uno and then Alex Reynolds and John Silver. But the match was good, I still think it's hilarious how they do the double clothesline, and then
the other part was
kick or whatever.
It wasn't only that. Remember, he started the sportsmanship chant.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. This fucking face MJF is so crazy to me because it's literally the same dude.
Well, yeah,
he does the same shit, but it just like works in a face fashion rather than, because I mean he did the sportsmanship stuff when he was a heel, and then he would just eye gouge them too. Like fucking when he was a heel, but for some reason with him being a face, it still works.
Since we're talking about the MJF match, did you see the skit that he recreated, the Bret Hit Bret
Oh yeah,
Hart
the
thing,
Bret Hart one.
where
Yeah, I thought that was
where
funny.
where the kid was like, "I'm adopted."
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Literally, the fucking straight up like it looked like the same vignette. Like they tried to
It,
do
yeah,
everything the exact same, which is so funny. But that's why I say like everything that's I'm like. It's so funny how like just like a year ago, I think when because I think it was All Out 2022, and then he did the promo on Dynamite that next week where he essentially was trying to get Tony Khan to fire him, which how much you could see is like a shoot or a face promo, or like shoot or a worked promo in that.
well,
But
yeah,
like,
everything this year, and we kind of talked about it in a couple of podcasts. Well, no, it was the last podcast with the CM Punk stuff
yeah,
because of that, you don't know alongside of all this stuff, like the first fight between CM Punk and the Elite, whether or not because of the MJF stuff before that, you didn't know if any of this stuff has been works
oh
since.
yeah, yeah.
And
That's
that's
the
where I
main
said
thing,
they're
and
blending the
that's
line a little too close because,
yeah.
because of what MJF did. Now it was like, did the CM Punk thing with Jack Perry really take place, and did he really get fired at the time? It was like you don't even
Yeah,
know because the way they blended the line with the MJF
I
stuff
don't
and
know.
how it turned
Somewhat
out.
from what I was hearing was like, I don't know. It seemed like he hated working there, but I did. Like, if he hated working there, then how much of a person CM Punk is? Like, do you think that, like, how much the
Well,
WWE stuff was right? You know?
well, and
Like,
that's what
that's
I'm
what I'm
saying. I mean,
thinking now, because
well,
at the time, like, I was getting tired of the same WWE product, right? So, like, now it just seems like a disgruntled dude that's just, like, pissed off that he wasn't like the end
well,
all be all.
and I keep hearing rumors that WWE is going to sign him because Survivor Series is in Chicago.
Yeah, and I'm
And
like,
I'm
yeah,
like, and it's 2 months away. And CM Punk said in an interview that
then he
he'll
had like
be
2 months or something like that.
doing
Yeah,
nothing for 2 months.
yeah.
So it's
Well,
like,
well, I mean, if
I
they did a
hope,
non-compete or
sorry,
something,
Josh, I
then
know you're a fan of CM Punk's, but at this point in his career, I just want to see him gone. At first, when he came back, I was excited,
yeah,
but ever with this crap, it's like now you really
yeah.
do start wondering if
Well, I
WWE,
understand.
if he
Well,
was
that's what I'm
causing a
saying.
lot of
I'm
those
I'm
issues.
a fan of CM Punk, but also at the same time, it's like, yes, I have to agree. I can't just act like it didn't happen. Like, and it just seems like he's being a child to me, really,
It is,
essentially.
and right now,
But
but I mentioned it in the All In podcast that we did that I don't know why Jack Perry got suspended. I still, for the life of me,
yeah,
I don't understand it. It's
well,
like
yeah,
unless when he came backstage or whatever, and he went after Punk,
yeah,
but I don't think
yeah,
that's
like
what
gun into
happened
his face or something. Yeah,
because
I
if that
don't
was
think
the
so. Yeah,
case, I think Perry would have been fired. Like there
yeah,
wouldn't have, and
I agree. Yeah,
so, I mean, but why he got suspended? If somebody went at me, I'm going to react to it. I'm not just going to let them
yeah.
fucking hit me. I mean, so
Well,
it's
yeah,
like,
that's the main thing. Well, I mean, there was conflicting reports, like saying that it was that CM Punk asked him if he had a problem with him and if they could squash it or whatever. So, like, there's so much you could believe. I mean, like, unless you were really there, you wouldn't really
no,
know.
I
Like,
truly
this
get
is
it, but
just
it,
speculation from people, but, like, and there had to have been a reason why he got suspended, but also at the same time, do you think that he could have been suspended? I mean, like, it seemed like they were giving him a heel push, so I definitely think that there was something more to it. Either that or they were trying to be like, oh, anybody starts shit with CM Punk is suspended type
but
of
that's
thing.
the thing too.
And
It could
then,
be that
but
could be
if he
part of the
released CM
work,
Punk, he should have had Perry come back, though.
but that could
But,
be part
yeah.
of the work of the whole thing. Like they
Yeah.
have to make, like maybe to increase his heel push is that he, when he comes back, he can talk shit about Punk all he wants because Punk's
Yeah.
gone.
Well,
So I don't
that's the
know.
main thing.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't know for sure.
but I mean, with this match, It was, yeah, I love that double clothesline is funny because I love the way it ended preliminarily the match at All In. I think we talked about it. So that's how it initially ended, as they both pinned each other, and then they agreed to go on further. So yeah, it's a great move.
It's just funny because literally nobody ends up having double clothesline as a finishing move, and it's just like a normal move that you see like all the time, and then they're just like double clothesline.
But the kangaroo kick is funny too, because the way he holds his damn hands up and shit.
My God, it is so dumb. Holy
fuck. And then, not to mention, unfortunately, I hope that Adam Cole did not hurt himself at Grand Slam because he landed wrong.
Where he was jumping and stuff, and then he vigilantly showed him like limping.
Like I know he got hurt because
hurt himself.
Well, they said he said they said that he left the ring on or left the arena on crutches that night, but hopefully that was more of a precaution.
Hopefully,
like to keep him off of it.
But anyway, after the tag team match, that's the one thing I like about the structure. I talk about it all the time. Mostly they go instantly from one match to the next, except for like a little tiny break if they're showing like a video. So like this one, they kind of was teasing Samoa Joe going against MJF, and I guess it already happened because it happened at Grand Slam, right?
It did, yeah.
So like they were teasing that, so they were showing when Samoa Joe was an NXT champion, and then he pushed MJF out of the way. This was like a ways back.
Well, not only that,
like he literally does the same thing to MJF this time. He hurt his neck, and then he pushed him.
Yeah, they teased it, and MJF actually acknowledged it on Twitter. Like, he actually pointed it out in a post he made on Twitter, too. So they did use it. Now, one thing I wanted to point out before we get talking about this match is I always do this customarily in all the podcasts that we do. The first match went 14 minutes and 5 seconds. So as we go through this, you'll see the shortest match is the one we're getting ready to talk about, but the rest of them are actually as long or slightly shorter than that first match was. Yeah. Besides the match we're getting ready to talk about.
And really, Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor was just really, it's kind of like showed like Shane Taylor in a good light, because I think this is the biggest stage he's really done for himself as AEW right now. But like, it was just a hoss fight, and then it actually ended a lot sooner than I thought it was gonna. I thought that they were gonna give it a little bit more time, and then it was already over. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it didn't last very long. He put him in the Coquina clutch after they did a few Haas punches and stuff. It only went 6 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah.
So that was the shortest match of the night. But if you guys recall on our previous pay-per-view conversations related to WWE, that's almost kind of what the standard match time is for WWE, except the Roman matches that go like 35 minutes. You might have a couple that may go 15 to 18, but the majority of them are like 8 to 10 minutes. It's crazy, but yeah, you'll see as we talk about this more and more.
I don't know if anybody could see, but Arrow, like, German Shepherd is down here. He's like, give me attention.
6 minutes. There's not much you can talk about in a match. It was a Haas fight, but
I think there was another match that was like better than that. That was a better Haas fight.
Yeah, they made a shirt about it, but we'll talk about it in a little bit.
So anyway, then there was Luchasaurus with Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. And I keep on talking about how much I just don't think Christian Cage needs to really do anything.
But have you seen Darby, what happened since?
What?
With Christian.
Why? What happened with Christian?
He took the title from Luchasaurus at Grand Slam, dude.
Hold on. So what, did he just go out there and pin him for it?
No, they were in a match at Grand Slam. Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, and I think Darby Allin was.
Oh, really?
It was a three-way match, and Christian took it.
And Christian just pinned Luchasaurus?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that just means that eventually Luchasaurus is going to just destroy Christian Cage then.
Yeah.
which I'm all for that. But so like during this one, this was what was it? Oh yeah, it was a singles match because the predecessor was the one where he did the coffin drop. But
Yeah,
like
that
he
was the
got his
coffin
ass
drop.
beat in
Yeah,
this
he
match
did.
though,
Yeah, it was just a.
and
It was
that's why I'm
basically
saying.
a
Yeah, that's
12
why I'm
minute.
saying. Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. It was a 12-minute squash match. The one thing that I didn't understand, I know that Nick Wayne is like a what is a protege of Darby's, but it was like, why was he even out there? But
Yeah, because he didn't get involved. It was like he was just there, which seemed kind of weird. But especially, you know, the Luchasaurus like beat the shit out of Darby. So I thought at first that Darby was gonna beat him somehow, and then he just didn't. I was like,
yeah, Darby
okay,
continues to take those damn
yeah, he's. I
bumps, and
swear,
I don't
he
know
needs to
how
be
he's gonna.
safer, man. I really love Darby, but he needs to be safer. He doesn't need to do this crazy shit anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
and he does
I
it
mean,
every
it's
match.
one thing when it's like the coffin drop on certain things or whatever, but like
But yeah,
you
the
don't need
last
to be
one.
Jeff Hardy because Jeff
Well,
Hardy, you could tell Jeff Hardy is hurt,
well,
like
yeah,
all the time,
a
probably.
week before this, he literally did the coffin drop on the coffin.
Yeah.
So, and then he takes a bump on the in the corner off the ramp or off the ringside area. It was
Oh
like,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
remember
It's
that?
like,
It was
dude,
like,
you don't need to fucking do this shit.
it was like,
Mostly because I don't want him to be like Mick Foley, where Mick Foley probably gets up and he's hurting all the time. Same with like, and John Moxley was just talking about like how his doctor said that he's got like arthritis of a 70-year-old man because
yeah, I
like,
know,
and he
yeah,
was saying that if he wrestled during the daytime, he didn't know if he would be able to do it
yeah.
because he was like he gets more stable throughout the day, and I'm like, yeah, I feel that. That's fucking age wears on you anyway, but like doing physical stuff, I'm sure that it takes a toll on you, especially. So, yeah, so then there was Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs, and this match was fucking hilarious, mostly because
Well, the
the
meat
meat
chants,
chants,
and then they
the
made
meat
a
chants
shirt.
were fucking hilarious,
They made a shirt called. It says meat on the front of it, like literally.
which is so dumb,
Yeah,
so dumb.
yeah. I
But
think I
like,
talked about
is it
the
gonna
in
be
the.
for Miro or is it just a random ass
I
shirt?
think it's just a random meat shirt, but I mean but it literally just says
My
meat,
God,
like in little like white squares with the black lettering across it, and
God,
and
so dumb.
but you know, I think I talked about it in the last one that Tony Storm has that new shirt of her saying "chin up, tits out."
Oh yeah, and
It's
then
actually an AEW shirt. Like it's a
which is
picture
so
of her
goofy.
that she
It,
signed that says "chin up, tits out" on it with her signature,
mm,
and it's like, so I guess
I
you
don't
can
know. It
make
sounds
whatever
like
you
any
want
time
based on
whenever
whatever they
somebody does a
say.
chant,
Yeah, I mean
like
it's
yeah, if they think that it's success. I mean, really, if you got like a
but
company
it is
where you could sell any type of merch, I
yeah,
mean, you could end up being like, oh, I'm only going to sell 10, you know,
but it is kind of
like a
funny
special thing.
with the chin up, tits out thing. She says that, and then she says, "Watch out for the shoes."
Yes, which I
I think
laughed
we
where I
talked
saw a
about that last time,
compilation.
but yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was on our failed one that my internet went out on. But
Yeah,
it was
my
just funny how every time she would end an interview, she would just chuck a shoe, and then and then at the last one with Renee, she's like, "Watch out for the shoe." I'm
yeah.
like, shit, that should be a fucking shirt. That would be
Yeah.
funny as fuck. If it would say Tony Storm, watch out for the shoe, and it's just a shoe
Yeah.
chucking thing, that would be funny as shit.
I
It's
wouldn't doubt
probably
it
as
though
close as the
because
Scissor Me Daddy Ass shirt,
yeah, I
which I
wouldn't
still
doubt
need
it
to
though.
fucking buy that shirt.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it though because they tend to make shoes if they become popular, or not
Yeah,
shoes. They make shirts.
but yeah,
But yeah, going on this Miro
essentially,
fight,
yeah, Miro
it
fight
was
was awesome.
yeah, it was the best. I would say the second best match of the night. I think is what I
Yeah,
even said last time. Because just the end was kind of odd because it was,
Oh yeah,
this was
because did she come out as CJ Perry? I think she did, right?
she didn't come out as, I don't think she came out as anyone. It just said hot and flexible, I think, on the screen. I don't know if she came out
yeah.
as
I'm assuming
anyone.
that she would probably go out as her real name, but, because Saraya does the same thing. But I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I
she
would
came
assume.
out, and then she was like, and then he was saying that she wasn't real and shit. Like after, because they Powerhouse Hobbs and him shook hands, and then it was like an awkward pause in between them shaking hands. So I thought that Powerhouse was going to turn on him. And then it took him a while to turn on him and hit him. So then I think he got a chair at one point. And then CJ Perry came out with her own chair and then went to go hit him. And then at one point, so she pretty much made the save. And then he was like, "You're not real," and ran out of the ring.
Yeah,
so,
he said you're not real,
like,
but
what?
then he also she cut that weird promo on Dynamite where she said something. I'm trying to remember the words. It was I think it might have been on Collision actually, where she had a cryptic promo where she said, what the hell was it? She said, "Dang it, I'm trying to remember." I've been in exile for almost a year, and then I was summoned, and when that coward finally spoke, he told me that I would be his favorite champion once again. That with his blessings and my muscles, I would never lose again, and all I needed to do is praise him.
So, hold on.
This
That's
is what,
part of the promo?
no, this is what she said, or what he said. It was at that moment that I realized that this coward was an idiot. The Redeemer kneels before no man or a god, so now I know what I must do. I must walk alone. I must be what this fool is not, righteous without seeking reward. Therefore I now renounce my God, my gold, my beautiful wife, because I am Miro and I am godless. So, yeah, so he was talking about his wife the entire time is the way they're going about it, but her promo, what she said was different. So it was like, I think she was responding to that.
Yeah. And she probably didn't say something that worked well that went with it.
Well, yeah, because she said,
I mean, that's an easy way of introducing where it's not just about...
"Oh, Miro, you really want to go down this path? I respect that, but I'm going to have to go down mine."
So that means that she's probably going to do something where she's going to sabotage him, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know, but
what it sounds like. Like he's going to try to do his stuff his own way, and then she's going to try to, like, impede it.
it's just strange, though, because it's like...
Yeah, that's very weird.
Yeah,
like,
because you're not real. It's your wife. How is she not real?
That's just weird.
So
that's very weird. Hearing so maybe he was just trying to blurt something out, and then they changed it, like since Dynamite or whenever they did the promos. I'm assuming Collision. Is he just still strictly Collision?
Yeah, he's on Collision. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, those were big. I mean, that was a great match. It basically, they made Hobbs look really strong, I would say, because he got out of, like, what do they call it? In AEW, what do they call it?
I know his submission is called Game Over.
Okay.
That's why he comes out and he says Game Over.
Yeah.
And then he does that. Yeah, so, he took that, and then I think he passed out for a minute or something, right?
But he took it once and actually picked Miro up.
Oh, yeah. That's
out of it.
Yeah.
And then he took another spine buster, I think.
Yeah.
And he went for the Game Over, too.
Yeah. Yeah, which I thought was funny. I was like, you done fucked up, man.
I know. But yeah,
that shit only works when you're The Rock, man, or Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Even Kurt Angle. Let's admit, sometimes even Kurt Angle. So yeah, it was definitely a good match. Like probably one of the best matches on the card.
And I think I preempted our conversation on Tony Storm, because that was the next match that was coming up.
Especially knowing that it's Chris Statlander with going against Ruby Soho with Saraya in the crowd, or like in with her. But like, I honestly thought that Tony Storm wasn't going to be the one that turned. The way that they were doing All In, I thought that Saraya was doing the turn, because they did everything with her family, did all this shit where everybody freaked out and stuff. So I thought when stuff happened where like she hit her mom and all that stuff, like I honestly thought that Tony was going to be still a heel and she was going to be an outcast.
This match was just annoying. I think I talked about it. Well, with Ruby, she seems to botch a lot, and Chris Statlander, ever since she came back, you can just tell she's slower because of the knee stuff. And I just feel that the timing of this match was just weird. And,
well, I mean,
like the moves were off, and it just seemed. I mean, they were doing good moves and stuff. They just seemed
pretty funny though. But
like, the Zoolander stuff.
Yeah, and even like Ben Stiller commented on it, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, and the cool part is she did Blue Steel twice, right? She did it at the beginning and at the end, I think. I think was it? I couldn't remember if she did it right before her finisher or like after she won. I think she did it right after she won, but I think she did it at the very beginning as she was coming down the ramp.
Yeah, and I knew that. And then when I was looking at her, I was like, "Hold on, what is that?" And then I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like when they said Blue Steel, I was like, "Oh shit, it's a Zoolander thing," because I was looking at the colors that she picked, where it has the little, I would say, wiener things on there, or like the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
The symbols.
Yeah,
it just looks like wieners to me. But what's it going? So yeah, like I was just not placing it, and then when they said that, I was like, oh, it's from the like I can't remember how far into Zoolander it was. Like when he was doing the Blue Steel thing, maybe it was at the very beginning.
And just to point out, the last match was 15 minutes and 40 seconds. I don't think I said that.
Yeah,
before.
And this was 12 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, so you guys see...
Yeah, like Tony Storm, like, literally just came in and, like, screwed with Ruby to not win.
Well, the funniest part, though, is she came out on the wrong side. So she was supposed to come out on the opposite side to mess with Ruby, and she ended up coming out on the opposite side where Saraya was at and had to run around the entire ring to get to where Ruby was.
Yeah, which was funny,
Yeah, so
I was like, what the hell is she doing?
And unfortunately, the cameraman couldn't really, like, cut from that because Saraya was standing right there. So you see the entire part where Tony comes out and has to run. Then she was doing some weird crap with the spray can. I don't know why she was just spraying it up in the air like that was doing anything.
Yeah, I thought she was just like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what she was thinking.
I think
maybe
all she had to do was hold on to it, like, haha.
Yeah.
Or it would have made sense to spray Ruby or something.
Ruby, yeah. I mean, but, like, that's why I didn't really care for the match all that much. I like how Chris Statlander is perceived as a strong contender, especially knowing that she beat Jade.
Well, I think it is cool that she's naming her finisher depending upon the night she does it. So, like, you know, like if she hits it on a Saturday, it's called Saturday Night Fever. If it's a Sunday, it's Sunday Night Fever. And I guess it could be Friday, depending upon if she's on Rampage, and I guess Wednesday if she's on Dynamite, right?
Yep.
I don't think I've seen where, like, I don't know. But anyhow. But yeah, this match wasn't, besides, the funniest part was Tony Storm.
Yeah, saving it pretty much. But just just saying, like, Ruby wasn't winning because of cheating. Or getting involved, I should say. But then probably the match of the night, probably...
by a mile.
It wasn't Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks.
I know,
Ricky Starks is so good, but this match was great.
And me and you probably disagree by a mile, but I feel that this was by a mile the best match.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I would say just generally, it just
especially
had better
considering,
beats throughout it. And,
especially
like,
considering I
Bryan,
don't think.
like, broke and cut himself, like, super early. Like, he was bleeding for most of the match. And, like, but the strap was implemented well. Even Daniel Bryan, Bryan Daniel said, I'm still going to do that. But, like, he chokes him out, or tries to choke him out with the strap at one point. Like, doing what they did with John Moxley, where Page choked him out with the chain. So, essentially, at one point he did that, and then, what's it called? I loved the finish, too. The finish was great.
Oh yeah,
Like,
where Starks didn't tap, he
yeah.
basically got
Like, he just
choked
choked
out.
him out.
The one
And
thing
then he
that I
was
think
done.
didn't, and what I didn't really, I get it because that's how it started, but why Ricky the Steamboat had to be involved.
Oh, yeah. Because, yeah, like, especially the whole pause that he did at the beginning where they're like, oh, are you afraid of, like, Ricky Starks from here? And then he sits there and he pauses for abnormally a long time and then says, yeah.
Yeah, and that's all he said too. It's not like he said
he didn't add,
like
they should have just had him like
anything
in the
additional.
corner of Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
They
and
should
then
have just had him in the corner and that was it. Like putting him on the commentary was like a waste of time.
And you could just tell his movement. You could tell he's old. Like even when he
Yeah.
got involved in the match to an extent, his
like,
punches
he can't
were
do
very
the same,
slow, and he can't
do the same shit that he used to. Which is like, that's just time evolving.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying,
especially if they haven't wrestled in like ages too.
Yeah,
because I don't know how long he hasn't wrestled for, but
yeah, they need to think about things.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like
at a certain point, like should you? We said it
like
about
having Shake
Sabu.
the Snake, but you don't need to get him involved with shit because he's not like that age to do it anymore.
Well, we said it about Sabu on what was it at Double or Nothing?
Yeah,
you could tell he's way past like what he should be doing, and he's still doing that crazy shit. And Sting still does these moves.
Still does like crazy shit and no-sell stuff when he doesn't have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
literally, it's one thing if it's like every 3 months or whatever, but Sting doesn't need to wrestle anymore. I only say that for like the older guys because I don't want them to, like, the more age it is on you, the more it's going to take a toll on you, and the more it's going to hurt you.
Well, the crazy part is
now
Sting left WWE after he got spinal stenosis from that buckle bomb that Seth Rollins gave him. So I mean, it's like, and you're in your 60s and you go into AEW and you're freaking jumping on tables. And like, what the hell? You don't need to be doing that. Let Darby do that shit if he wants to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Darby's
going to do it. It's not like you have to tell him twice. I mean, he'll do crazy crap all the time.
That's the main thing for me. Like that, like you could tell better stories throughout the whole thing.
But I think it's cool how Bryan Danielson has the final countdown and his part of his
it seems like now they're going to do it from now on or something, which it seems crazy how much money like Tony Khan just throws out just for like ring themes.
Well, if the rumor is true too about what could possibly be announced at Wrestle Dream coming up, there's more money he's possibly shelling out.
Yeah.
Anyone that's listening, rumor is that what I'm hearing is that Tony Khan's going to buy New Japan Pro Wrestling,
which I mean, like you would need to end up having. I definitely know for a fact that it would be more money than fucking Ring of Honor, and it was more money than probably WWE would shell out for New Japan. Like I don't even think that they were even thinking about buying New Japan if they were for sale. But like,
but can you imagine? I mean, WWE's big, but holy hell, if AEW takes over almost every other brand that's out there. I mean, besides Impact,
because
right?
I mean,
what
like,
other
the
only
only
other
other people, it's Impact, and then probably the closest thing is MLW, probably.
But yeah,
I think it's called Major League Wrestling because that's another televised one. that and like NWA, but I don't think Billy Corgan's going to sell NWA. Like,
since he just bought it not too long ago, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's been putting effort into trying to make the brand better. But I mean, what he did with Nick Aldis, I don't know for sure about though. And like Nick Aldis was like, I guess he's having beef with him or something. I don't know exactly from what, but like that's what I heard was that there were there was contract disputes or something that went into it. That's why he hasn't really been in NWA for a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to happen. Especially, I definitely think that Nick Aldis should at least get a run in WWE. But I mean,
I thought that was already happening, but I guess not.
That's what I'm saying. I get so like you saw the stuff with Jay White though. Like it seemed like as soon as like he was about to be going in for WWE, it's changed real quick. Especially, might I add, like know that we're like during this podcast now they released like 8 or 10 other wrestlers. I think it was like 10 or 15 or something.
Yeah, I figured we'd talk about that more during
Payback, but whatever. But they released Dolph Ziggler, so I'm wondering, like, that's one of the main ones that I was thinking of. So maybe Ryan Nemeth could do something with his brother.
Well, that's if he keeps wrestling. I mean, I've heard that Dolph
he's been doing
wrestling.
stuff. Well, he's been doing the stand-up for a long time, and he doesn't really need to wrestle. I mean, if he's getting paid better doing stand-up, then he might as well just keep doing stand-up.
I doubt he's getting paid better.
He probably ain't getting paid better. I'm sure that he ain't getting paid better. But like doing bumps and shit, and then
for your livelihood,
stuff, like probably it's a better thing for him to do stand-up rather than because if you haven't been able to tell, he's been more away from wrestling for a while now. And I've seen him do more stand-up comedy stuff than he has wrestled. But, that could be a combination of that and, like, WWE's not having stories for you and stuff like that.
But, yeah, getting back to
the
Starks match.
Yeah.
They were back and forth in this one, man. It was, like, crazy getting back. Danielson hit the knee. Then he vowed to kick Starks' fucking head in,
I love that part. Like every time I hear that shit, and like even if it was a heel or a face, I would still be like, yeah.
Then he locked in the label lock, like Josh said, but then he modified it using the strap, and then Starks passed out. It was a great match. It was. Yeah. They went back and forth. They used, and since then, did you see that Ricky Starks where he hit the dude with the chair, but he like missed? And some dude in the crowd, some dude in the crowd said, "That's fake." And he said, "You mean like the orgasms your wife has?" And that's.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah, so I just had to point that out because it's just Ricky Starks. Ever since we went on that cruise, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
And talking.
It's just like he seems like a nice dude. And like he knows exactly how to like get a rise out of you, and then just like be a normal dude. So
so he's been a favorite of mine for a while.
Yeah, and then then on to the next one, which is Blackpool Combat Club versus Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata. This one was okay, but I definitely still think that Blackpool Combat Club's best member is Yuta. I think that's the main person. Well, the main person that's actually gotten better stock out of the being in that stable.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. John Moxley just gets cut in every match.
Yeah,
Claudio kind of
doesn't really do much.
No, like, he just kind of
wrestles.
Yeah, and that's what he did. We've talked about it over and over again. It seems like that's got to be why he didn't get pushed in WWE because that's what he did there.
Yeah.
It's like when he was, especially when he was in a tag team, it was like he was just there.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really get over with the crowd all that much. I don't know if it's the language or his accent or what, but I don't feel that.
Maybe it's just his promo skills or something.
I don't know, but it just seems like he's, it couldn't have been WWE because it's happening in AEW the same way.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
especially
and he's
with this
getting
stuff,
and he's getting the titles and
tried
stuff.
to do stuff, but yeah, he got the Ring of Honor belt. I think that was the main one that he got.
Yeah, and he's since has lost it to Eddie Kingston though. So, spoilers.
I was so happy for that because like Eddie Kingston seems like he's busted his ass for a while. Like,
well, and I was reading a quote about him too. He was talking about? I guess he silently signed a new 4-year contract.
Oh,
and he was
AEW?
like, yeah, and he was like, why would I leave? I'm getting everything I want from them. Yeah. And he says, and nobody needs to know.
New Japan dude, and like he's more of a New Japan dude, and I definitely think that he appreciates what AEW did, like in signing him, because he wasn't like at the time he wasn't like a known name. Like I remember seeing him in Ring of Honor and stuff, and like he always played like a tough dude, especially in Ring of Honor. Like he always played like pretty much how he's played now, but just more like a rough-sided dude, like more rough than he is now. But like I remember somewhat of that. I think that's when Kevin Steen was in Ring of Honor too. But then I didn't see him a whole lot. But then he has a huge respect for New Japan Wrestling. So I think he likes stiff shots and stuff like that. So it's great knowing that he won both I think it's the Never Openweight belt, or it's the New Japan Strong belt. It might be the New Japan Strong belt. And then he won the Ring of Honor belt. So I think this match was just building more on the feud between Claudio and Eddie.
Yeah, I believe so
too.
Shibata
Because was just there.
Yeah, there wasn't much. Well, Wheeler Yuta was kind of there too, but he does a lot more, in comparison than.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like his.
Because like in this match, Claudio wouldn't get in the ring pretty much when Eddie Kingston was in there.
So most of the time it was Yuta wrestling, and then until like Eddie Kingston finally got his hands on him. Really.
And I understand that because it's part of the storyline. This is what the storytelling that I think some people may not get is that Claudio was doing it because there's a thing between him and Eddie that would culminate. So they have to play it that way. Even though you may want to see him wrestle more, it's part of the storyline that he wasn't. So, I mean, it's,
especially
but
when
again,
you're the heel,
at least they've got Wheeler Yuta that can handle himself in the ring like that. Because it's
he was nice when we met him, too.
Yeah.
We met him on the cruise, and he was nice, too.
Yeah, with Blackpool Combat Club, though, I don't see a lot of them. John Moxley, to me, isn't that great. He does some great promos, but it's kind of hit or miss. Like, some may be really good, and then there's others that are like, what did he just say? And then we talked about Claudio earlier, and then I don't think Wheeler Yuta's that great on the mic either.
Yeah, and then there's Bryan Danielson, but Bryan Danielson is just great being himself.
Yeah, but I don't. That's the thing. I think he's in the group, but I don't think he's in the group. If that makes sense, because it's like he's part of the group, but he's really not. It's like if he needs to be, he will be, but more time than not, he's not really part of it.
That's why I was surprised with Takashita. which we might as well go into that. And Kenny Omega's stuff is like more the Don Callis show, is instead of Takashita going into the Blackpool Combat Club. Like, I don't know why. And especially his fucking ring theme is just boring as fuck. It's like just, you couldn't have thought of... Yeah, and they couldn't have come up with anything better than what... Like, if you're trying to say that he's the next Kenny Omega, why didn't you have him have a ring theme that played off of Kenny Omega's music? Like, trying to, outdo Kenny Omega. You know?
Yeah.
Trying to be more Omega than Omega.
Yeah,
and that's one thing that I didn't understand why they did that.
One other thing I wanted to point out before we move.
What?
One more thing I wanted to point out was that last match was 15 minutes and 55 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And then this one ended up being 22 minutes and 30 seconds.
And it didn't need to be.
No, and it didn't
honestly.
seem like it was that long. It seemed like it was
Yeah,
because of the Don Callis stuff that ended up
yeah,
extending it. Because, and one surprise was that Kenny Omega took the pin. I did not
yeah.
expect
I
that at
was
all.
I was surprised that I thought that they were going to do similar to what they did in All In, where he just squeaked by with the win, but he actually pinned him and beat him. I was like surprised. I mean, I think it was the knee to the face that he beat him on, right? I think so. I
Yeah,
think he just did like a kind of a version of a V trigger, but
he
I
did
mean,
it. He
it's
exposed his knee, and then
yeah, and he kicked him in the face. Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty
So
much
like,
the. I'm trying to
like
think what move it's like. There's
the V
one.
trigger is similar, but I mean,
Well,
also at the
yeah,
same
but
time, Ciampa used to do the same thing.
yeah,
He would do a
that's
running
who I
knee into somebody with the
that's
knee pad down.
that's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So what's it called? So I was just surprised. I'm wondering what they're gonna do from here, where it seems like they just added a member to Don Callis' family, which, if anybody watched Dynamite, that Sammy Guevara turned on Jericho to join the Don Callis family. Like, he needs another faction.
Yeah, I don't
It
know
just
why
seems like they keep
Guevara
throwing him
can't
into
just
other factions.
be
Yeah,
by
he can't
himself.
just be by himself. He's got
I
to
mean,
be with other people. I don't understand. Like,
even
especially, it seemed like they were turning him face by leaving the JAS thing.
well, it's not only the
And then he
JAS
turned on
thing,
him.
but like he had to be with Ty Conti. He couldn't even just
Yeah.
be by himself.
Yeah.
Even then, it's like
Yeah.
what the hell? It's like I don't get it, and it's kind of like the Anna Jay treatment, but for a dude. Because if you notice, Anna Jay can't be by herself either. She's always in either a tag team or a
like
group.
she was with the TJ, which was like her and Tay Conti, and then
she was in Dark Order before
and
that.
then she was in the Dark Order. Which Dark Order was the best for her, especially the beginning of the Elite matches.
What
where
kind of
John
reminds
Silver
me
would be like Anna, Anna.
Yeah, it reminds,
that, like,
but it also reminds me. Yeah, it also reminds me though of Julia Hart in the House of Black. She's brilliant in that group.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see, like I think at Wrestle Dream, she's going to be facing Chris Statlander. I think.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh, that might be interesting. I mean, I don't think that Chris Statlander would lose. I think they're trying to give her like a nice, lengthy reign.
I don't think it was Saraya.
I mean, especially
sure
knowing that this was like afterwards, where, mind you, Jade Cargill looks like she went with the WWE, so they had her do her final match. I think it was a tape match against Chris Statlander, and she hugged her before she left.
Yeah,
and
that's
then they
a given.
showed like her being at the Performance Center training.
Yeah, she's gone.
I
WWE.
just hope that she's in NXT though. Like, I don't think that she should be pushed up on main roster like right away.
I've heard she's going to the main, dude. Like right away.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, like, whatever though. I mean, like, it's like we're just commenting on this shit anyway, so it's like our thoughts.
Yeah,
generally, but like
the next match is the one that didn't make any sense to me though.
Yeah, it's just built more for FTR and Young Bucks. Like, building more on their feud, which.
But I don't get under.
Really
I don't understand
feud though.
Yeah,
like,
I don't understand the Guns being in.
Yeah,
groups.
like with the gangbang. What's it? I almost
They're
said
in
the
Bullet Club Gold. They're in Bullet Club Gold, but I don't really understand them being in it. I said that when we were watching this. It's like
when we talked about it on like All In. I think that it's like, oh, they had the Guns name, put them in with Bullet Club.
Well, that's
I think that's all they were thinking. You know that Many Men thing where they were doing the pow and they're shooting the water out? Put them in Bullet Club.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all they were thinking.
But I mean, this is almost one of those examples of, Daddy's part of the booking, so they always get top billing. I mean, they're literally right behind the main event on the card.
Which
and they, I think, and if I remember, they took the pin. Like, so I think Austin
Colton Gunn pinned him.
Dax,
Gunn,
right?
Yeah, I think it was Dax, yeah.
I mean,
and
so
I was
it's
like, what? Colton Gunn?
No, he got the pin on Cash. That's what it was. But Colton got it. Colton Gunn got the pin on Cash.
Like, he is the worst by far out of the Bullet Club.
Yeah, after
out of this group, I got X-Pac heat for Colton, just because he looks like he's got a punchable face. Okay? Well, he looks like he's a douche.
We talked
Doesn't mean
about
that
it.
He's actually douche. He just has a punchable face.
We talked about it. If you look at his their record, I don't think they've even lost that much.
No, they only lost to really FTR, because they beat the Acclaimed. I mean, they lost, I think, twice to the Acclaimed before they took it, but and I'm trying to think of other teams that they probably beat most of the other teams that were on the roster. I don't think that there was many, at least in the past year. I don't think that they've lost much.
No,
honestly,
they haven't.
I don't think.
And that's how it always has been.
We can say that it's up to Daddy's talking to them, but I don't honestly think that it's all the way that. But if they keep winning matches, especially if the Guns are gonna take the pin, especially it looks awful for Jay White because he feels like it's just like an afterthought in the group.
Well, yeah,
I mean, because
he's the
Robinson
one that
does this crazy shit in the match, and then the Guns take the pins.
Yeah, because he hit the Blade Runner.
Yeah, and then
Colton took the pin. Yeah. So
and that's what I'm saying. I don't know, and especially Bullet Club Gold hasn't really been doing much for me.
Well, how can you when you've got
Robinson
the Guns in the group, though?
Yeah, I just don't like the Guns.
I mean, I think others could.
Even when we saw them on the cruise, it was like, fuck, man. They're just missing something for me.
Well, and that's what I said. They were even pushed like they were
good. Their entrance is now, and I'm like, dude, it took them 2 years for them to have a good entrance. Or
we talk about the Guns Up for the Bang Bang Gang shit.
Well, yeah, where they come out and they shoot the water out, they're acting like they're shooting. They're doing that, and then they're shooting.
Their last name has been Gunn as long as they've been around.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's they do that, and then they're circling them. I'm like, yeah, it looks cool, but I mean, literally, if they put anyone else in the thing to do that, it would look good for them too. I don't think they would look different.
The one thing that I noticed in this match was that this was, and I talk about Young Bucks matches all the time, but you could literally tell the difference in the Young Bucks wrestling versus FTR wrestling.
Yeah.
Like Dax is a beast in there. The Young Bucks, every time they wrestle, it looks the same. Okay, there's another Young Bucks match. But FTR, it really is not the same when I watch them wrestle.
They're just great. They're when they talk about great pure wrestlers, tag teams, it's FTR, all day, every day.
And it's a big difference
between likes them too, is because of that.
And it's a big difference between Dax and Cash too. Yeah. Dax is way better to me than Cash is.
Well, I mean, especially it's mostly because his solo matches. When he was having his solo matches, it just showed that he was just.
But it shows how good he is, though, because if you're good as a tag team and singles or solo, then you're a good wrestler. Because
it just reminds me of Shawn Michaels, man.
Yeah, there aren't many that are good at both.
That are great at both. Yeah, that's the main thing.
If the Young Bucks wrestled singles matches, they wouldn't look very good to me, I don't think.
Yeah.
Singles. I mean, by without each other in them.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt's decent whenever he's by himself. I mean, they have good ring psychology to an extent. I just think that they need to do something else other than doing the same signature matches. I mean, that's what I say about WWE stuff, though. It's very monotonous, and it just... You can only do your fucking shit so much. At least with Kenny Omega, he will knee you in the face, and it feels, believable. like you're going around and then you're saying "see ya" and kicking them in the face. It's like it's not really gonna be like the same impact.
Yeah, and to
But
point
like
this
that's what I'm
match,
saying. Like they do that a lot,
and that's what
and
frustrated me with this match was it was the second longest on the card. It
yeah,
was 21
and
minutes
it
and
didn't
35
need to be
seconds.
that way. Yeah, it was like to me, it was probably one of my least favorite.
And then the third longest was the main event, which was basically we knew kind of based on what happened a week prior when
Yeah,
when Orange Cassidy basically got the shit kicked out of him then that he
yep.
was going to lose
That he was going to lose
this
it.
match.
As soon as they announced, when I saw that who he was going against at All Out, I knew he was going to lose it. I was like, "Oh, John Moxley. That means he's winning."
But the
Because,
crazy part
that's
is
their golden boy right now. I mean,
yeah,
like, no matter,
what is
I mean,
except
it's like certain people like are their golden people. It's
well,
like Chris Jericho, John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, and then MJF right now.
but
And like it used to be CM Punk, but then he keeps being a dipshit.
but yeah,
So,
with this one though, it was a literal beatdown. Moxley kicked the shit out of Orange Cassidy in this match.
oh
Like,
yeah, he beat the shit
I
out
mean,
of him, and then he
it was
made him
like,
bleed, and then yeah, he just wrecked him, and like, and I'm surprised. It was funny because I was like, holy shit, it's the first time that John Moxley didn't bleed in a match that I've seen in like months.
yeah.
Because
Normally he's
Orange
bleeding within the
was
first
one
5
bleeding.
seconds
Yeah, like
of a
and
match.
it was like, oh, well, we'll just change it by having Orange be like bloody as shit. But like, it really puts over Orange to be like, especially with his reign as intercontinental or international champion has been like longer than Pac's reign, about like a mile. He had the championship for a long time. Then John Moxley is probably not going to be the same. He'll probably do some of the same stuff, but it's not going to have the same effect that Orange did. Like how they were showing, like how every defense was making it tougher, especially the promo that he cut before this one. He was like, "You're going to have to kill. I'm practically going to have to kill him for him to lose the belt," which I like that part for it. Like I could tell, like I liked how everything went into it.
Well, and
So,
that's the thing. You
like,
knew it was going to go the way it did, though.
yeah,
That's the unfortunate part.
that's
Some
the
of these
problem.
things I
Yeah,
keep talking about with AEW is that they're kind of some stuff is like works to the point where you don't know what they're going to do, but then there's other times where they've telegraphed it so easily that you know exactly how a match is going to go, almost down to how it's going to be booked because of
yeah,
how
yeah,
things went into going. So like all of that writing in, you knew it's like the Ricky Starks match we talked about earlier. It's just the delivery, right? You knew that Ricky Starks was not going to tap. So you knew he was going to pass out. You just didn't know how they were going to get there. Now, how they got there was brilliant. And this is the same thing. You knew Cassidy was going to get his ass whooped because he called it out beforehand.
yeah.
So you knew he was going to lose, so you knew he was going to get killed. And that's basically what happened. But, ever since then, Moxley, and I don't know if it was meant to be, but he lost to Ray Phoenix. Like,
Okay, yeah. Because I saw that shit like super fast. Like he dropped him not once on his head during his Phoenix Driver move. He knocked him on his head the first time, and then he pinned him. And I think that Mox was out.
but what I read
just
is he
couldn't
had a
tell if that
concussion
he was,
prior
yeah.
to all of that.
Oh
Like it
shit.
was at the very beginning of the match that he had a
Oh damn.
concussion,
So he was fucked
and he
up.
wrestled. Yeah, that he wrestled
Then he
throughout
wrestled
with one.
through, and then he still landed. Oh,
Yeah,
damn,
so that's why I'm
sucks.
like,
Because
so
this is what happened. So he did the Phoenix Driver. I think that's what they call it. He landed straight on his neck or on top of his head. He pinned him, and I think that he was supposed to kick out. He didn't. So what's his name? The ref sat there and made a judgment call, and it was like trying to figure it out. So he didn't count the pin, which he should have just counted the pin.
well, the first time
If
he
he
didn't.
didn't,
Well, then he then
that's what I'm saying. He should have counted it then.
Yeah.
I remember, I think somebody was talking, I can't remember who. I saw something where they were like talking about refs' mannerisms. If you're doing the tapping thing and the person ain't doing it, still do the third. Like they're like, regardless of what it is, don't make it look like it's staged or whatever by like stopping. They're just like, just count it.
Well, that's like that when I talk about.
Then they let him up, and I think they did it again.
Yeah.
And then he landed on his head again.
Yeah.
And then they did the pin. I was like, that should have never happened.
Yeah, and
he should have just been 3 and then been out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's the stuff I talked about previously where AEW looks like WCW 2000 to me. It's this weird stuff that they've done and the bookings that they've done. And I think it's because of the setup. Like, right after this, it looks like AEW might go to Max for streaming, so it may be a deal kind of set up like WWE has with Peacock, so people may not have to pay. Now, we don't know. They may go with the same model that AEW or UFC has with ESPN for their UFC pay-per-views, where you still have to pay for them, but it'll just be on Max. But hopefully it'll be like WWE, where it's like part of the
later.
Well, because at the same time, Max announced that the NBA will have a sports package for an extra $10 a month, where you'll see NBA games and stuff. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, whatever.
But regardless, it's $50 for a pay-per-view, or it may change to be on. But the next one will be Wrestle Dream next week, actually.
Is it next week?
Yeah,
it's the
October 1st. It's October 1st, yeah. That's actually, it's not next week. It's actually Sunday. Collision, because they're both here in Seattle. So Collision is here Saturday, and Wrestle Dream's here on Sunday.
Jeez, man.
And I will be going to both of them. So,
well, I mean, you should just launch stream or something if you could. Or like whatever. Doing stuff like whatever for the TikTok channel or something. I don't know, whatever. So pretty much after this one, we're going to be talking about Payback 2023 for the next podcast. But then after that, I guess it's Wrestle Dream first. I couldn't remember if it was Wrestle Dream first and then Fastlane, or if it was.
Yeah, it'll be Wrestle Dream on the 1st, and I think Fastlane is the 7th. So we're gonna be caught up and then behind again. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be like more caught up.
Oh, we will be. We're in like a battle rhythm now, I think. So, but yeah, I mean that's
it's mostly like if life happens most of the time. It's like trying to film them, especially now that we started doing the video setup too. So I think it's helped. So, if you've made it to this part of the podcast, thank you for listening. And if you want to listen to any of our other podcasts or watch our reviews and stuff like that, like the heartofgeek.com has all the stuff on there, like all their podcasts, music reviews, all that stuff.
Yeah, you can also check out them on your favorite podcast providers. Like we're on all of them: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify,
pretty much all of them.
So
so like what's it called? And I'm trying to debate if I wanted to. I'm probably gonna make a review for Liza P tomorrow, hopefully, if everything's permitting. Because I've almost beaten the whole game so far. Like, I'm real close to the ending already. And I didn't think it was going to be like that, but I have obviously gotten better at Dark Souls games, or like Soulsborne's games, whatever. So, yeah, if you, just check out our stuff, like on the webpage and stuff. So, for me and Jeremy, we'll talk to you guys in the next podcast.
Yeah, peace out.
Peace.